Ah, yes. It's one of those fragrances. Buckle up, Buttercup. We about to go on a ride traveling from 1988. Bam! Fahrenheit. Christian Dior's Fahrenheit. Ladies and gentlemen, quintessential. This is what you need. We're going to get into this. It's one of my personal favorites all day, every day. We're going to get into it. I'm excited. I love it. Fragrance of the day. Speaking of it, let's get that all in the spirit. Welcome to the Inscentive Collection. I'm your host, Brandon. And today, Fahrenheit, Christian Dior, classic. Just go out and buy it, okay? Man, where do I start? Let's talk about my own personal experience with the fragrance, right? Because I think that is a connection that everybody will share. Everybody shares their first experience as far as we all have one. And so for me, I kept reading about it. I kept hearing about it. Good cap. I kept hearing about it, kept reading about it, decided to go in and try it out. Hated it. I mean, I was highly offended when I smelled this fragrance. I can't think of a fragrance that turned me off more than Fahrenheit. And you're like, yo, Brandon, but you got it. You say it's this, you say it's that. Follow me. Like, just we'll get there. We'll get there. Be patient. I went into this fragrance store, this little outlet at our local mall, and I tried it on several sheets, walked out, sprayed it, smelled it, walk around the mall, smelled it, walk around, smell. Just like, this is absolutely horrible. Why would anybody want to wear this? It smells like gasoline. Like, why would you want this on your skin? And I mean, listen, like, I take these fragrances very seriously. Again, it's an art form that I appreciate, and we'll get into the design and everything, but I just have to share this experience. Because there's some key takeaways here. But so I walk around, lovely store associates, like, hey, well, maybe you should try this. And I'm like, no, I'm in discovery mode right now. Like, I need to know why this. I just gotta know. I gotta know. And I remember the lovely associate. She was like, oh, I like that smell. I like that smell. I'm like, why? I don't get it. This is horrible. And so, I mean, literally, I walked around for probably like 2 hours. When I go to the mall, like I'm at the mall, right? And I just kept pulling it out, smelling it. What the heck, man? And so, the store was about to close, right? I think this was pre-COVID. The store was about to close, and I'm like, you know what, man? Bump it. Let me just get this on every opportunity I get, I'm spraying this. Let me just get this on my pores. Like, let me get this on my pores, and then achievement unlocked. Because at that point, when the smell started smelling and it was mixing with my chemistry, and I fell in love. It was like, I've had experiences in which you try stuff out on different test strips and on skin, and they smell differently. This was dramatically different. Like, I mean, it went from I hate this, I have to figure out what this journey is about, to instantly purchasing. And I think this is like $100, right? Instantly purchasing it. And ever since then, this has been in my Muay Thai bag. This has been in my car. This has been in my backpack. It doesn't matter. I'm spraying. In fact, I treat this like a freshie smell. Like, I treat this as out of the shower, boom, 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 get it on and get going. Like, no decision needs to be made. No, I don't have to figure out where I'm at. None of that stuff. Closed spaces, different fragrances do different things, and I want your fragrance to be, I like my fragrances to be offensive, but I don't want them to choke people out. There's a difference, right? I want you to experience something different and be like, oh, I might not necessarily like that, versus like, smoking out a whole, pew full of people because your fragrance is just, too consuming, So anyway, that's my story with this. And oh my goodness, I've been spraying this ever since. And the bottle's pretty durable. So anyway, bam, we're into that. Okay, so who's this for? Listen, man, this is timeless. It's a timeless fragrance. Again, traveling from 1988. and it ain't old. And so it isn't old as far as like the smell. Like it just smells like vintage, which I guess is old, but you get what I'm saying. Like it's not dated. You know, it doesn't smell like, I don't know. It doesn't smell like a grandpa type of smell. You know, not to, you know, express ageism, but like there are different fragrances for different age groups. This doesn't smell like an old fragrance. Who's this for? I would say you can start cracking this at 17, man. I really believe you can start cracking this at 17 all the way until, you know, 85. You know, let them bury you in this fragrance. Like, it's that type of smell, man. Like, it'll never be old, man. It's just classic, man. It's so, oh man, I love it so much. Okay, let's get into the design here. So right off the rip, solid cap. I mean, you reach for the back. Let me get that. You know what I'm saying? Let me. Oh, man, I'm dropping this fragrance all day today. Let me get that. Bow. Let me get that from the back. Ah, that's the type of cap you got on here. Nothing special. I do like. I always love how Christian Dior has that CD. There's something about that logo. It's bold, but it's also like, you know, retro. I like it. I like it a lot. It's got like a 2 cap type of thing going on here. Don't know what that's about. Of course, you get a satisfying, get up in there, satisfying click. And you know that, hey, you're good to go. And again, that's another reason why this is so great in the bag. Like it's a very, look at that glass. There's some serious glass here. And then on top of that, you got a great cap. So this will and can be in backpacks. I have no fear about this. I have some other fragrances where the cap pop off and it slides around. Pss, pss, pss. Next thing you know, people are like, what does that smell? You know? So yeah, anyway, heading back into it, Fahrenheit, you think of heat, you think of, you know, 911, not 911, but the fire department, you think of, you think of fire trucks. The bottle is so elegant. Like it presents itself, right? But not in a forward fashion, kind of like in an upward fashion. I don't know, like it just looks like the bottle is standing at attention. To me, that's what I just see Fahrenheit. You know, like, like it's just, there's something about it. And I love the fact that they don't hide the juices from me. I have no idea what color the juice is because obviously this bottle is highly covered. I'm thinking it's just clear maybe. But I love how much action you can get out of this bottle. And of course I'll do some inserts and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just tried and true. And as you can see, I don't know if I've ever used a fragrance as much as this, at least in my more contemporary collection. Obviously when I was a kid, you know, I was axing it up. But as far as this goes, this is it really is my most consistent fragrance. I mean, like, literally, like when I have a lot of fragrances and sometimes I can be a bit consumed by like what I want to express. But when I don't have time to figure that out, I literally just grab this. And I've never gotten any complaints. All right, so usually when you think of a fragrance, you get key elements as far as some type of design choices. This thing, like, it really presents everything you're about to experience. It gives you that Fahrenheit, you know, that grungy, I don't want to use the word grungy, but let's reset. This is such a beautiful fragrance. I mean, it gives you everything you need to know just by presentation. It's very simple. You have to strip it back. You're thinking too hard. Strip it back. You have Fahrenheit, masculinity, saluting at you. You have great key elements as far as caps, thick bottle, pretty design, very elegant, very unique, very simple, bold. And it actually weighs like a good chunk of glass. Like it's pretty dense. So with all that being said, you have Fahrenheit. Now let's get into, with all that being said, you have Fahrenheit. Let's get into the actuation, right? What pulls this whole thing together? What's the experience like of actually using it? You're not going to get a whole lot as far as what you can see in this image right here particularly, but never a fragrance I can overspray. It's got great coverage, and I never feel like I need to spray a bunch, although it's not necessarily something that is light, right? It can be a bit dense, but it doesn't stick with you very long. I don't think the duration is, you know, this is an older scent, so I don't know what their process was like back then. But it's not something that's going to stick around for more than, I mean, I would say probably like 4.5, 5 hours maybe. At that point, you got to be pretty close to the skin in order to get the appreciation of it. But again, you have a nice wide amount. It's a toilette, so it's not dense with the oils. It's not gonna, boof, like sit on top of your skin and just kind of chill, but like a Tom Ford fragrance would. But I think that's what makes this fragrance so great is that it's light, it's airy, it's just whimsical. Like you could just spray it and not worry. I mean, if you could spray this on top of, first of all, this is a great base fragrance for any other fragrance that you want to use. So if you want to start getting into combinations and stuff like that, excellent fragrance for this because it's just non-offensive. It's just, it's very muted and to the skin. But the actuator is great. It is a Christian Dior. And that's just part of the packaging when you buy fragrances from Christian Dior. You're going to get fragrances that actuate pretty good. And as you can notice, like I'm just spraying this very liberally. I don't usually do that in my reviews because this room gets, it's not a huge room. You can get smoked out pretty quickly. But it's carefree, man. And as you can see, like I said, I use a lot of this, man. I use a lot. And I'm very fortunate to finally have been able to discover this because my journey was a tough one. It was a tough one to get on board with. So anyway, yeah, so that's the actuator. Let's get into, we already talked about it a little bit, but I want to get into the Big BE. The big, what is it? Big, man. Oh, Big Bubble Energy. Big BE. Yeah, there we go. I don't know, forgot what my own phrases. Big BE. Big Bubble Energy. It's kind of close. It's not, I would say a foot. Yeah, foot. I wouldn't even give it a 1.5 feet. A foot, like a solid foot. But again, I think that's part of the joy of it is just that you can spray it very liberally, and it's here and gone. You just need something to freshen you up. This is a great freshen you up type of fragrance. You're not going to be committed to any scent with this. Like you're really not, man. And that's not. Usually that would be a knock to the quality of the fragrance, but in this case, it's not. It's definitely something that. It's just part of the packaging and part of something you appreciate. So yeah, I would give it, a foot, at most, really. Okay, so duration, again, I would say maybe 3.5, 4 hours. It's on the smaller side. It's not going to give you 4.5 to 6. It's more like 2.5 to 4. It's kind of like that. I guess that just depends on how much you apply and how small the room is. But it's definitely not something that's going to be choking you out or around you for very, very long. It's very effervescent in that instance. Trail, I don't get a lot of compliments with this. I must say, it's not a fragrance I get a ton of compliments on. I have shown other people and they have liked it. But it's not something that people chase you down in the hallways, like, or in the mall or wherever, in the movie theater, like, what is that? When you smell Leighton, you have questions, right? When you smell Leighton, you looking. This is not that. But again, I think that plays to the strength of it. So I do want to talk about the notes. I have some notes here on my notes. Let's see. Again, 1988, time traveling here. By Maurice Rogers and John Louis Suizak. I don't know how to say his name, but thank the both of you guys. Really appreciate you guys for coming together on this. Top notes, you got cedar. You can definitely smell that. Camoli. Lavender. You can definitely smell that. Mandarin, orange. You can smell that. Bergamot. You can smell that. Hawthorn, lemon, and mace. Sounds crazy that this has mace in it, but it is Fahrenheit. Middle notes, violet leaf, cedar, nutmeg, sandalwood, carnation, that sounds ambiguous, honeysuckle, jasmine, and lily of the valley. And you know what? I can smell the jasmine in here. Base notes, leather, musk, patchouli, vetiver, amber, and tonka bean. And those are, in my opinion, I smell all the base notes in Mandarin. Like that is what you're getting with this fragrance. Again, I think it's super masculine. It has a density and a presence to it. So I do want to talk about when you can wear this and Yeah, let's talk about when you can wear this. So I don't particularly think that this will suffer in fall, summer, spring, winter. I really do believe you could wear this at all times. It's going to struggle significantly in winter and in the fall. It's a tough fragrance. But with that being said, you can overspray the heck out of this thing, man, and really get it to present. But again, it's a toilette. It's close to the skin. The cold weather is not going to do you any favors. I do notice this more in the heat. So feel free to turn up the heat on Fahrenheit, if you want to wear it in the summer and in the spring. But you can really wear this at any point in time, in any season, any occasion. Like, it's so universal, and I don't use that I don't use that haphazardly. I don't have a fragrance outside of this in which I tell you morning, noon, night, fall, winter, spring, old, young. It's like it's such a beauty. And as I twirl it around, you just see the bubbles. Like, it's such a unique experience. And it's been a very, very joyful journey. I will definitely be ringing up on another bottle of this because I will be, I've only had this for like a year, maybe, like 2 years, 2.5 years. And I'm already, a quarter of the way through it. So, I mean, I can see myself, especially now that, the world is getting more back to the way it used to be. I can see myself wearing this even more. I carry this in a gym bag. Again, durability is off the chain, but we already mentioned that, so I'm not gonna go down that again. But yeah, man, 10 out of 10. I don't say that lightly, because everything has a bit of a drawback, man. But like the things that hold this back are actually its strengths when you think about it and you apply it and you try to use it. You'll notice that it plays in its favor. Not a lot of fragrance, have that. And again, 1988, and it's still around. So I mean, clearly people really, really enjoy it. Let me make sure there's nothing else that I need to cover, because this video is getting kind of long. Yeah, I mean, again, the occasion, anything, you can wear this. It's not the sexiest fragrance, but again, women love this. So I mean, I have more expensive fragrances, peep game, like Herod, I believe this is what this is called. It's been a while since I looked this one up, but I love this fragrance, by the way. I mean, I'm a big tobacco fan, but I mean, if I had to choose, I would definitely get Herod. Like, let's get that out the way now. But again, man, like I've tested these out with different people, and Herod might get a 9, and this gets an 8. It's nowhere near the price of that bottle, So you have to keep those kind of things in mind. Like, I would say get this, like, put this on your list and just go buy it, man. And then you'll grow an appreciation for this as you're, like, the simplicity behind this and what it does, your appreciation will grow as you start to experience other fragrances and you start to figure out the things you don't like about those. This does not have that. It doesn't have any of those. It's such a unique fragrance, man. Anyway, that's the review. Again, welcome to the Inscentive Collection. There's plenty more videos on the way, and I'm also thinking about starting a new series called like a car series that kind of goes into just more of like a personal thought on like the industry and smells and stuff like that without actually including the fragrance. It's more of like just a fireside chat. I'm very passionate about fragrances, and I think this knocks it out of the park. Design, smell, well, duration is the only thing, but again, like, because its duration isn't super forward and super aggressive, like, you can spray this 100 times in a day and like, and be good. Like that's, you can't even do that with Axe, So anyway, 10 out of 10, just go buy it. Big fan of Christian Dior's Fahrenheit. And again, there's something to be said about a Christian Dior product. Like, they're worth their weight. And so keep that in mind whenever you buy something from Christian Dior. Like, you're getting a quality product and a quality experience. And there's a couple more Christian Dior's that pop up on this channel. But that's it for this review. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for going with me on this journey. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. I'm very active in there. And also, if you have any suggestions I'm more than willing to dive deeper down that rabbit hole of this house, like Christian Dior's house. They're actually like one of my favorites. If you have suggestions, please let me know. But other than that, go get you a bottle. I think it's like $100, and you won't regret it. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.